For me, in the Premier League, beating Manchester United and beating Tottenham hits home a lot differently. That yesterday I really enjoyed. It was like the first time in ages, well, since Michelin, that I've really smiled. But what it means to me and what it means to the club are two different things. So now, with that win, Forest have moved up. But can we pull away? Welcome to my match reaction for Spurs 0, Forest 3. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to KFC 0, Forest 3. And boy, oh boy, am I in a good mood. I'm tired, I don't care, my voice is gone. Maybe now Igor's my favourite player of all time because he scored against Spurs. Could be Gibbs-White, or it could even be Taiwo because he shinned that final one in. But there's a lot to talk about and a lot of positives to talk about as well. So make sure you've liked, make sure you're subscribed. We need to get like 600 likes on this video, and I promise you tomorrow I will do my troll video as I react to all the Spurs content creators that were crying. I've held back from watching them all so I can do it on a video, so make sure you get those likes up, and we'll be live tonight for Grumpy Old Reds at about 7 p.m. But I just want to jump straight into it. Look, I could do the old hold that, whatever that holding thing is you're meant to do thing is. But I don't really care now about Spurs. I want to focus on Forest and talk about this league table. Because finally, man, Forest have moved up into the dizzy heights of 16th in the league. And that puts us ahead of Spurs and obviously 3 points clear of West Ham. As it stands now, West Ham are on 29 points. Spurs are on 30 and Forest are on 32 points. Now, Spurs do have a better goal difference than us, but we absolutely murked it yesterday for them. It was a 6-goal swing. This is why the scoreline is huge, because Spurs have only got a +2, if you like, better goal difference than us. And if they go and get slapped by Sunderland, or even if they were to say lose one and we gain 1 goal, suddenly we're level. And it's increased our goal difference hugely on West Ham. They're on -21. And when it comes to Leeds, they're on -11 and we're on -12. So it's very, very close. So look, things are looking a lot rosy. There's clearly a divide. I mean, 14th is Crystal Palace on 39 points. I mean, we could do it. We could do it. I think we need another win and another draw. Another win gets us to 35 points, and then I think 36 gets us over the line. Now, that would require West Ham to need 7 points, probably 8 with goal difference, and Spurs to get themselves another 5 or 6 points. I don't know where they get their next win from. But right now, what we've done is we've added a buffer between us and 18th, and that buffer is KFC right there. And that's good because West Ham play Wolves. West Ham, by the way, West Ham always seem to play first. They'll be playing Wolves Friday night after this massive international break. And if they win that game, and you would expect them to beat bottom of the table Wolves, that will move them out of the relegation zone. And it won't be us going in there, it will be Tottenham. And if they stay there forever and a day, I'll be very happy. So that's the thing. So now Tottenham fans are going to be sweating that dumbass parade they did before the game. I mean, celebrate after you win something, like seriously. So what does this mean going forward? I kind of didn't think we played very well, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Do I care? Not really that much, right? But the 3 points were the most important thing. I just think we looked a bit more like last season as well, in a positive sense, because we soaked up a bit of pressure, boom, counter-attack, boom, Gibbs-White scored his goal. Same with the third goal. Okay, Spurs had to open up because they had to try and come out and get something from the game. But I kind of liked that in a way a little bit. It felt like last season, which was quite nice. But I also enjoyed the first 10 minutes of the game, and I think that's going forgotten. Forest dominated the first 10 minutes of that half. We passed it around very neatly, very tidily. And I think we were at one point like 81% possession compared to Spurs. Now, possession means nothing in football if you don't convert it into chances. But we had more shots on target than Spurs. I think we had 7 in total to their 3. But what impressed me the most yesterday was the lack of clear-cut chances we let Spurs have. You'd have to say their best chance was Matthias Tell, where he took that shot from about 25 yards. And what a save that was from Sells. Sells, who I said I'd have put Ortega in front of him. I'm not sure Ortega saves that. That was a Sells special. So I'm happy that Pereira went with with Sells, sorry. And the other thing is, the goals were flowing. 3 goals in a game. It is away from home. We've got to start doing the same thing at home. But what I think is most important now is that Pereira has got 3 weeks with most of these players. You know, likes of Gibbs-White even. He didn't get called up for the England position. He'll be staying. These players will be freshly rested. Our next game is, well, it's just slightly less than 3 weeks with Porto the Wednesday before the Premier League match. And I don't want to get ahead of myself because it's only Spurs. I'm not going to do what Spurs did where they celebrated going out of the Champions League and what have you. But it's more so not about how we're playing, but how I feel the pressure release valve has just opened a little bit. We've got Aston Villa when we come back, and then I think it's Sunderland and Burnley, something like that, before we get into 4 sweaty-ass matches in Newcastle, Chelsea, Man U, and boring mouth. Don't quote me on the order of any of those games. We have to beat Burnley. We have to try and get a point out of Villa. And why do I say that Villa won? Because psychologically, we could be facing Villa in the semi-finals of the Europa League. And we need to kind of, you know, put our marker down on that. So it's important, I think, that Villa match, because I still want us to fight on both fronts. And I've got to praise what Ryan Yates said. And this, for me, was huge yesterday. Forget the performance. Forget everything else. Yates said, remember what I said in his interview after the Midtjylland game? If we can't play 2 or 3 games a week and we're professional athletes, what the hell are we doing here? And that, for me, showed yesterday. Why? Because in the final 15-20 minutes, Spurs looked like the tired team. Forest had played 120 minutes on Thursday. Spurs had, won the game to go out of the Champions League a day before that. So we should not have been the fresher team, but we looked fresh. And this is the most important thing when it comes to professional athletes. It doesn't matter if you're feeling the aches and the pains and everything else when it comes to football. If you're losing, those aches and pains feel a lot heavier. If you're winning, psychologically you find a way to lock it out and ignore it and move on. And that's what I think happened. That momentum from Midtjylland went into Spurs, and the players were able to fight through any tiredness or pain barriers or anything like that. And that's why that Midtjylland win was so important. It took us, obviously, to the next round of the Europa League, but it also gave us a platform to build on against Spurs. And for 3 weeks now, they'll be smiling at the training ground, they'll be focusing, they'll be training hard, pushing. Now that Pereira's got his first win, any of the doubters maybe in that squad will see, like, right, we beat Spurs, we slapped them 3-0. You know, it's come at the perfect time. But in a certain way, I kind of don't want the international break, because Forest have built a little bit of momentum right now. We're undefeated in 3 in the Premier League. That's not bad. That's not bad. 5 points in our last 3 games. We're starting to build a little head of steam. Had we beaten a Fulham in there or something like that, that would have been so much better. But we are where we are. So I'm very happy. I can't wait to troll all the Spurs lot. I'm so looking forward to it. But right now, things are going great. But what we can't do is get complacent. Because a couple of weeks ago, Joe called me saying, yo, we're safe, man. Make sure you're safe as well. He's the Leeds YouTuber, Joe, for those of you who don't know. And I'm looking at it now. There's only a point between us and Leeds. But the bottom line is, we're still, only 3 points clear of 18th? We've got to get a couple more wins. Burnley is must win. And if we can pick up a cheeky little win somewhere else, maybe beat Bournemouth at home, we could still be in the Premier League next season. And who knows? Maybe even in the Champions League. All right, I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Listen, I'll see you guys tonight on Grumpy Old Red. Sorry I've rambled on basically about nothing. I'm just so happy and excited, man. I love taking 6 points from Spurs. We'll see you tonight, 6:30. Like, subscribe, and hype the video. Come on, you Reds.